K-series wheel loaders were launched by the Science and Technology branch of the XCMG through years of untiring improvement and innovation. The K-series wheel loaders have been designed to compete in a market dominated historically by the leading international loader manufacturers. Using advanced and scientific power matching and optimized structure configuration, the K-series wheel loaders are able to provide strong power, compact structures, beautiful unique shapes, and comfortable and pleasant operating environments. The K-series models have been well received both at home and abroad for high reliability, excellent safety, high efficiency and easy maintenance. LW600K components. The LW600K wheel loader consists of the working device, traveling device, frame, cab, powertrain, engine hood, speed change control system, steering, working hydraulic system, electrical system, braking system, air conditioning systems and other components. The LW600K offers an articulated frame with the hinge center located at the center of the wheel base. This unique design enables a small turning radius. As a result, the LW600K maintains excellent flexibility and easy operation in narrow spaces. The LW600K offers flow amplifier hydraulic steering, electro-hydraulic power control gearbox, adjustable dashboard, seats, hydraulic pilot control, and automatic position limiting working device. The LW600K also provides ergonomic control levers and buttons for minimum operating force, easy and flexible manipulation, and smooth and reliable action. The LW600K offers a drive axle equipped with a limited slip differential and low-pressure wide-base tires, which provide good off-road performance and possibility for traveling and operation on rugged ground. The LW600K offers international supporting parts with reliable quality and luxurious, beautiful, well-sealed full-view cab. Various working tools, such as side-dumping hoppers and high unloading operation mechanisms, are optional to achieve a multi-purpose machine. Now we take the LW600K as an example to introduce the loader operation maintenance. First, let us introduce the locations and functions of the loader's pedals, control components, IPs, and control mechanisms. Transmission gear shift control lever, steering wheel, horn button, instrument panel, combination switch, key switch, instrument box adjusting handle, brake pedal, engine throttle pedal, sprayer, fire extinguisher, control box, operation mechanism control lever, pilot handle, power cutoff selector button, handbrake button, air conditioning button, rocker switch, radio, fan switch, backrest angle adjustment. Starting the engine. Don't start the engine before shifting the gear shifting control lever to the neutral position and then turning the ignition switch to the on position. Check and make sure that all parts are correct and then turn the ignition switch to start the engine. After starting the engine, release the ignition switch immediately. Let the engine idle for 5 to 10 minutes. Pay close attention to the IP display. If the IP display is correct and there is no brake pressure alarm, release the handbrake and be ready to travel. Special reminder, Do not try to start the engine for more than 5 to 10 seconds. If it is necessary to restart the engine, wait more than 30 seconds, then try again. If you cannot start the engine after 3 successive tries, start troubleshooting to ascertain the cause before attempting to start the engine. After starting the engine and before engaging the drivetrain, do the following. Check whether various switches, control levers, lamps, horns, and wipers work properly. Check all systems for leakage. Check whether there is any abnormal sound coming from the engine. Check whether the brake is reliable. Traveling. Move the boom up to enable the boom lower pin to be 400 mm away from the ground. Incline the bucket for traveling. Depress the brake pedal and turn the handbrake switch clockwise to release the parking brake. And then release the brake pedal. Shift the gear change lever to first gear and push it forward. Slowly press the accelerator pedal for motion. Gear change. Forward reverse shifting. Shift the gear change control lever to the desired gear to achieve a speed change. Push the gear change control lever forward or pull it backward for forward reverse shifting. Perform gear shifting in order. No skip shifting operation is permitted. Gear applicable scope. Gear 1 and Gear 2 are suitable for slope climbing, operation, and rugged ground. Gear 3 and Gear 4 are applicable for flat ground and high-speed traveling. Special reminder: when changing gear, don't open the throttle to avoid serious impact on the drivetrain. Don't shift from forward to reverse and vice versa at high speeds because it is very dangerous. When traveling, you do not need to park nor step on the brake pedal to shift gears. When changing from a low speed to a high speed, release the throttle and manipulate the gear change control lever, and then depress the accelerator pedal. However, when changing from a high speed to a low speed, release the throttle and decelerate slowly, and then shift gears. Steering. When traveling, turn the steering wheel to the desired direction to change the direction of the machine. Special reminder: in order to improve the driver's comfort and maximize the power component's service life, be sure to slow down when turning. High-speed turning maneuvers are very dangerous and can endanger your safety. Special reminder: when traveling on a slope or poor ground, no high-speed traveling is permitted. Select a proper gear prior to downgrade. Do not perform gear shifting in the process of downgrade. Use the engine as a brake. Don't set the gearbox to neutral gear. No overloading is permitted when going downhill. You can use the foot brake pedal to slow down. Manipulate the control lever of the pilot valve, push it forward to drop the boom, and move it forward further to allow the boom to be in a floating state. And at this location, the pilot valve is in the locking state due to the electromagnet positioning until the pilot valve has been pulled back to its neutral position. Pull the control lever off the pilot valve backward to raise the boom, and at this location, the pilot valve is in the locking state due to the electromagnet positioning until the bucket has been lifted up to its limited height, and then the electromagnetic coil of the bucket limiting device is de-energized to enable the pilot valve to return to its neutral position. Turn the control lever of the pilot valve to left to tilt the bucket backward, and at this location, the pilot valve is in the locking state due to the electromagnet positioning until the pilot valve has been pulled back in its neutral position. However, turn the control lever of the pilot valve to right to tilt the bucket forward. Use the automatic leveling and lifting limiting system of the bucket to achieve automatic leveling when the bucket is at any position, as well as the automatic stop when the bucket rises to the limited top position. When the induction rod is close to or leaving the inductance proximity switch, The induction signal of the proximity switch will control the pilot solenoid to achieve automatic leveling and lifting limiting function of the bucket at the high position. Use of air conditioning. The LW600K is equipped with a dual-use air conditioning for heating and cooling. The air conditioning system mainly consists of the evaporator, pipeline system, wiring harness, fresh air box, condenser and condenser fan, compressor, drive belt, liquid storage tank and other components. Use of AC. Start the engine and turn on the power supply switch to allow the evaporator to run at low speed. Turn the AC switch to the appropriate position to start the compressor, allowing the AC to begin to cool. Regulate the airflow switch and adjust the air opening direction. Open or close the fresh air opening as required. Use of heating. Open the engine hood and open the valve on the heating pipeline from the engine to the AC. Start the engine and let it run for about 10 minutes until the water temperature rises. And then turn on the power supply switch to regulate the airflow switch and adjust the air opening direction. Special reminder: in summer, close the water heating valve for refrigerating. However, in winter, turn off the refrigerating temperature control switch for heating. Warning label. 1. On the bucket, don't walk under the operation mechanism. 2. At the hinged position, danger of squeezing. Parking. Release the accelerator pedal and depress the brake pedal. Shift the gear change control lever to the neutral position after stable parking. Press the handbrake switch to allow the parking brake to engage the parking braking. Manipulate the control lever of the operation mechanism to enable the bucket to contact with the level ground. Special reminder: when parking the vehicle on level ground, there should be no risk of falling rocks, landslide or flooding. If it is necessary to temporarily park the vehicle on slope, use wedges under the wheels to prevent the vehicle from moving. Steps to stop the engine. Do not shut off the engine immediately after parking. Wait for the engine to idle for about 5 minutes for full cooling. Turn the ignition switch counterclockwise to the misfire position. After the engine misfires, pull out the ignition key switch for storage. Routine after daily operation. Check the fuel storage. Check the oil level and cleanness of the engine pan. If the oil level is above the upper mark and the oil is thinning, perform troubleshooting to find out the causes. Check each oil tube, water pipe, gas tube and various parts for leakage. Check the gearbox, hydraulic pumps, steering gear, front and rear axles for fixing, sealing as well as overheating. Check whether the rim bolts, transmission shaft bolts, as well as the pin axes are fixed securely. Check whether the operation mechanism works properly. Check the tire appearance and pressure. Fill grease into each oiling point of the operation mechanism as required. Oil drain intervals. Change the oil following the intervals specified in the lubricating figure or according to the oil quality. Inspection and change of hydraulic oil and tank. Oil products. Use the Mobile 10W engineering hydraulic oil to fill the hydraulic oil tanks of the products equipped with a full hydraulic wet braking axle. Inspecting the level of hydraulic oil and tank. Check the oil level gauge of the hydraulic oil tank. Make sure that the oil level is above the middle mark of the oil level gauge. Otherwise, add oil. Note: when checking the oil level, be sure to keep the bucket level and put it on level ground, and make sure that the engine is in the standing state. changing the hydraulic oil in the tank. Lift the bottom to its top position, and then shut off the engine. Manually tilt the bucket down and drop the boom so as to drain the oil in the tank fully and completely. Unscrew the drain plug at the bottom of the oil tank to drain the dirty oil. Clean the oil tank filler and the oil suction port filter and the oil return port filter. Replace the damaged filter. Add new oil from the filler up to the level specified by the oil gauge. Don't remove the oil filler filter to add the oil into the tank directly. After adding new oil, allow the engine to run at a low RPM and control the operation mechanism to act several times so as to exhaust the air inside the system. At this moment, the oil level can drop slightly. Therefore, check whether the oil level is correct again. If necessary, replenish the oil. Inspection and change of fuel in the fuel tank. Fuel quality. Fuel in the tank, 0 or -10 light diesel. However, -35 light diesel for cold regions. Inspecting fuel level in the tank. Turn on the key switch of the power supply to examine the fuel display on the monitor. No reading of the fuel gauge less than 0.1 scales is permitted. Changing the fuel in the tank. Unscrew the drain flange at the bottom of the fuel tank to drain the dirty fuel and impurities. Clean the filler and suction filter. Replace the damaged filter. Unscrew the fuel filler cap, put the fuel pipe into the filler, and turn on the fuel switch for fuel filling. Inspection and change of gearbox hydraulic transmission oil. Oil products. CF4 15W40 diesel oil is applied to the ZF gearbox. Inspecting the level of gearbox oil. Park the vehicle on level ground. Shift the gear change control lever to the neutral N position. Make sure that the gearbox temperature is within its working temperature range. Make sure the engine is idling. Remove the dipstick from the transmission counterclockwise and wipe it with a clean cloth. Insert the dipstick all the way into the transmission. Remove the dipstick and check the fluid level at least twice. When the oil temperature is at 40 degrees, the level should be between the lower, cold, and middle marks. When the oil temperature is about 80 degrees, the level should be between the middle and upper hot marks. Note: check the cold oil level only to ensure the transmission and the torque converter have sufficient circulation flow rate. The final standard to determine the oil level is to meet the hot oil level. Changing the transmission hydraulic oil. Note: the transmission should be drained and refilled with new fluid for the first time after the first 100 working hours of the vehicle. After that, the transmission should be drained and refilled with new fluid at least once every 1,000 working hours or once a year. The transmission should be drained and refilled with new fluid as follows. Park the vehicle on level ground. Remove the oil drain tube and the radiator oil tube with the transmission at normal operating temperature to drain the old oil. Note: drain the transmission, torque converter and radiator. Tighten the connector securely after oil drainage. Open the filler cap to refill with the specified oil. Start the engine and let the engine idle. Shift the transmission control lever to the neutral N position. Make sure that the parking brake is engaged. Operate each gear once. Recheck the oil level again. If necessary, add fluid. Note: be sure to use clean transmission oil and filters. In any case, be sure to be consistent with the mark on the dipstick. Replacing the oil filter. Note: be sure to replace the oil filter every time the oil is changed. Don't use any damaged filter. Inspection and changing the drive axle gear oil. Oil products. Titan LS90 gear oil should be used to fill the wet drive axle. Inspecting the drive axle gear oil level. Turn the hub drain ports to the horizontal position and unscrew the filling plug on the axle housing. The oil level should be up to the plug port position. Otherwise, add fluid. Changing the drive axle gear oil. Turn the hub drain port to the bottom position. Drain the old lubricating oil from the drain plug of the main drive axle and the hub drain plugs. Unscrew the hub filling plugs and the filling plug of the main drive axle and add new fluid until the fluid comes out from the filling port for the main drive axle and the view port for the hub. Then replace the plugs securely. Engine oil. Oil products. CF4 15W/40 diesel oil. CH4 15W/40 diesel engine oil for Cummins engine. However, CH4 5W/30 diesel oil is suitable for cold areas. Inspecting engine oil level. Pull out the dipstick and wipe the end of the dipstick with a clean cloth. Insert the dipstick all the way back in its tube. Then pull out the dipstick and check the fluid level. If the oil level is between the upper and lower marks on the dipstick, the level is correct. Add oil up to the upper mark if the level is at or below the lower mark. Special reminder: check the engine oil level before operation or after shutting off the engine for about 15 minutes. Check the oil for pollution or impurities. If the oil is severely polluted, change the oil. Changing the engine oil. Remove the drain plug on the engine pan to drain the oil. Replace the drain plug and then add new oil into the oil filler to bring the level to the upper mark on the dipstick. Let the engine run for several minutes at low RPM. Turn off the engine and let it sit for several minutes. Then check the oil level. Add oil up to the upper mark if the level is at or below the lower mark. Special reminder: do not fill above the upper mark. To change the engine oil, run the engine until it reaches normal operating temperature. Then shut it off. Engine coolant. Special reminder: for the Cummins engine, add Caltex antifreeze 55/45 into the water tank. However, for other products, add Cialis -45 antifreeze into the water tank. If necessary, adjust the antifreeze in accordance with the engine maintenance manual, changing the coolant and cleaning inside the radiator. When changing the engine coolant, make sure the engine and radiator are cool. Remove the radiator cap and then loosen the drain plug on the bottom of the radiator. Completely drain the coolant, then replace the drain plug. After replacing the engine coolant, start the engine to let the water level drop a little, and then turn off the engine. Check the level in the radiator, add coolant if needed. Filling grease. Add grease in accordance with the intervals and points specified by the lubrication chart. Maintenance. Replacing the engine air cleaner. When the engine air cleaner indicator turns red, you need to replace the air cleaner. Open the engine hood. Remove the air cleaner housing cover. Remove the old air cleaner element. Clean the inside of the air cleaner housing with a damp rag. Place the new air cleaner element in the air cleaner housing. Reinstall the air cleaner housing cover. Press the air cleaner indicator button. The mark turns colorless. Close the engine hood. Replacing the engine diesel filters, oil filters and water filters. Special reminder: the engine diesel filters, oil filters and water filters should be replaced regularly as required by the engine specification requirements and based on the working environment. Remove the old diesel filter from the machine. Pour clean diesel into the new filter. Install the new diesel filter. Use the above method to replace other filters. Please maintain and use the machine in accordance with the above requirements. And please feel free to contact us at the Service and Complaint Hotline 400 828 9777. Thank you for your selection of an XCMG wheel loader. We are always ready to offer our excellent service with high efficiency.